Hey everybody, welcome to something a little different right now. Here lately I've been kind of having these throwback weekends where I've been doing stuff, playing games, the kind of games that I did long back before Minecraft came along. And in fact, this was my obsession for quite a while there. I was probably pretty heavy into Microsoft Flight Sim 10 for about 6 months before I started playing Minecraft. Got a number of texture packs for it, some scenery, bought a couple of airplanes for it, even got a airport, got a scenery pack for Hartsfield-Jackson Airport here in Atlanta. This is not Hartsfield-Jackson, however. This is one of the little airports right outside, just a little ways. This one I kind of consider my own little home airport here. And we're going to take off and just have a good look around here. Alrighty. I need to set, let's see, mouse yoke. I don't yet have my joystick hooked back up to it. As you see, this right here, we are in a, basically, as you see, it's kind of a powered hang glider. That's, I think, a Beechcraft trike. As you see, it's basically a hang glider type parasail wing with a engine on the back, a pusher prop, and it's a two-seater. You can imagine Dwindon sitting back there, and most importantly, you got this little red panic handle right there between your legs. That is the parachute. This one comes equipped with a parachute, so that if you do something and the wing collapses on you, you can yank that and chute pops out and hopefully lures you safely to the ground. Alright, this is actually pretty darn close to what the weather looks like outside right now. We are sitting here at about 7:30 in the evening, and the weather is pretty close. I'm using the REX. It's called what is it? Realistic Environments Extreme. This is version 2. Like I said, the last time I was playing this was about 2.5 years ago. They're up to version 4 now, but this is awfully nice. Nice cirrus clouds and everything. It looks very similar to what the sky looks like outside right now. So let's give it a little gas and let's take off here, shall we? Kick her in the guts here. Now, I've got the sound turned way down, and I'm sure it's still pretty annoying with that engine sitting right behind you. I've always thought that gamers would make very good pilots, and the fact that we are very used to wearing headphones all the time to try and get rid of all the external noise that we have to deal with. Alright. Beautiful. This is one of my favorite crafts in the entire game. I'm really not into flying the heavies. I know a lot of the simmers, they join the virtual airlines and they fly the heavies like the PDMG 777 and some of the other big passenger planes and the cargo haulers. I'm a big fan of the GA aircraft, the general aviation aircraft that just allow you to fly, as they say, low and slow and just enjoy the scenery down here. We're doing pretty darn good. I have got all the texture and all of the textures and meshes and everything else turned up to maximum. And we're not doing too bad right at the moment. The frame rate is a little bit slow because we're recording, but not too bad. I usually like to hang out between 1200 and 1500, but we're going to go up to about 2000. Get a nice little look at the land over here. See, I love the lights at night. And see how it looks. That's a pretty decent representation of the little town I'm from here. Said I don't actually live in Atlanta. I live right outside of it. And that is a fairly good representation. The streets are all correct. The rivers are correct, the railroad's correct. It doesn't actually have, you couldn't use this, it's not like Google Maps, it's not a photorealistic. Getting a little chop there. Just a little bit turbulence. It's not a photorealistic. You can buy those packs which give you photorealistic terrain. Unfortunately, the photorealistic terrain is also flat. You don't get the building generation. As you see here, you get all these 3D buildings and these little 3D trees all about, which I prefer. I prefer it not to be totally realistic. You know, I don't have to see every little house and every little shop and every little McDonald's down there in the exact location that they're in. I prefer it to be, you know, a rough approximation of what it looks like. Oh, it's a beautiful sunset today. A rough approximation of what it's like. Something, you know, where you got the rivers and the streets and everything where they're supposed to be. And everything else gives you a feeling for what the town looks like. Let's see if we can see the airport behind us. Yep, there it is, right back over there. I think we're going to circle around and see if we can do a little touchdown there. Alrighty? So I'm going to pull back on the throttle. One thing with these ultralights, like I said, I love them because they've got such a wonderful field of view. But you also have to be careful with your speed. You get up above, you get into the high 70s, 80 miles an hour, and you will rip the wing right off the top of you here. These are amazingly something like a real airplane. You would think that this would be easy. It's just like a motorized hang glider. It's like, oh, that ought to be pretty easy to fly. But in actual fact, it tends to be a pretty delicate little craft. You have to treat it pretty careful here. Oh, let's not go over speed. I don't like going above about 70. You start putting a lot of airframe stresses when you do that. Okay. No, we are not, and we're actually getting white balls. We're actually getting white lights, so we're on a good flight path here, good glide path. Usually I'm coming in a lot lower and everything's red right there at the end of the runway. And as you see, we're just flying around, I'm goofing around. I don't have very much air traffic enabled. And I'm not radioing the tower or anything, so I'm basically pissing off everybody, and I'll probably get my pilot's license yanked at the end of this flight for landing without clearance. But I just wanted to get up. This is one of the things I enjoy, is just to get up and enjoy flying around. I always wanted to be a pilot, and I finally got me a job that would allow me to do something like that. However, about 6-7 years ago, I came down with a vertigo problem, and because of that, it would not be a good idea for me to get several thousand feet off the ground in a cockpit type situation. It's another reason why I can't go scuba diving or anything like that. When the vertigo hits me, I can't tell which way is up and which way is down, so that would not be a good thing either. Alright, we're coming in a little low. Not too bad. Let's see if we can line it up a little bit better. Not too bad here. And as we get over the runway, I'm going to cut the engine. Nose up, nose up, nose up. There we go. Excellent. Fantastic. Let's give it a little break. Alright. There we are, back on the ground. Okay, let's try a little bit different flying here, and I'll see you in just a second. Alright folks, here we are at Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. As you see, it's a little bit later. We're about 30 minutes later. Takes a little while to load these textures in. You see the stars are just starting to come out in the sky over here. And we are going to take off once again. And not going to fly any proper procedures or anything. We're just going to see if we can't basically buzz the airport. This is not my actual pay, the airport that I paid for. This is the one that comes with Flight Sim 10, so therefore it doesn't have the new terminals. It's not really high definition textures, doesn't have the ground traffic and all. Just kind of shows you. Yeah, see, here's all the terminals over here. And the tower doesn't look anything like the Atlanta tower. So I will have to load that in. We'll show you what it looks like here under default Flight Sim 10 textures. I think that is the Marriott over here. Marriott Renaissance. Yep, there's the Renaissance Hotel right over there. There's downtown Atlanta staring us in the face. Looking to see if we could find, ooh, with everything cranked up, it really stutters through here, doesn't it? Looking to see if we could find the Fly Delta Jet sign. It's out here somewhere. I'm sure once again we are pissing off every one of the big jumbos that are coming in. Every one of the passenger planes, as we hover around the airport, getting screamed at. They're probably scrambling some fighters to come out and shoot us down. Afraid we're going to crash into the fuel tanks there and take them out. Let's fly toward downtown a little bit. Get kind of a look around here. Right off over there, you see a little bump just above my crosshairs. That is Stone Mountain. The sun is setting. Beautiful sunset. Said I wish I could be out in here for real and see what all this looks like from up here, but this is the next best thing. Okay, let's not hit overspeed. I'm going to fly toward downtown there, and we'll see you when we get a little closer to it. Alright, and as you see, the sun is setting as we are approaching downtown. We are just about to fly over right above the crosshairs there. That is Ted Turner Field, home of the Braves, as they say, America's team. Let's see if they're playing a game down there tonight. We're at about 2,000 feet. Let's raise up a little bit. We were diving just a hair. And back off on the throttle a little. No, actually, it looks like they've got it set up for football. That's a little bit bizarre. It's not football season, it's baseball season. What the heck are y'all doing down there? Alright, as we fly up toward downtown. Once again, this is Flight Sim 10, Microsoft Flight Sim 10. It is about, what, 7-8 years old now. And as you see, we're stuttering a bit. We are in the single digits here as far as frame rate and all goes. But it is because I have terrain generation cranked to the max. All the max lights, the max amount of buildings, everything down there. Looks beautiful. But as I was saying, you know, there's the Capitol, there's the dome, the Golden Dome on the Georgia Capitol. Beautiful, beautiful. Most of the skyscrapers are there. Unfortunately, I said it is an older program, so it's missing a good dozen or so buildings that have been built since this came out. There's about probably 12 new skyscrapers scattered around the skyline here, several of which have a really nice gothic kind of Gotham City kind of look to them, like those two right there. Got some more like that, and they really do get very pretty at nighttime. Alright, so that's Atlanta, or a fair facsimile of it. And we are going to try one more place here before we call it an evening. So we'll rejoin you in just a few minutes. Alrighty guys, and last up, here we are in my second favorite, one of my other favorites, becoming one of, may replace the trike as my favorite. It is a sweet, sweet craft. This is a Piper Cub. And it is, I don't know if the real Piper Cubs are this forgiving, but it is a sweet airplane. It is just so nice, so wonderful to fly, so forgiving of mistakes you make. I really do like it. Thinking about this would probably be the next one that I get an actual, or right about 1,000 feet. This is probably the next plane that I get an actual purchase an airplane, a more high fidelity model. I do love it. So you see this, the skylight here, the stars are coming out. I love the control surfaces, how the cables and all move whenever I move. Very sweet. It's a two-seater. We're flying from the back. See, we're about 1,000 feet. We're about 85 miles an hour. You see, we've got the throttle all the way forward. We can back it up, push it forward. But so here we are. We're a good ways away from home now. We flew out of Manchester about 45 minutes ago. So Mind Fiend, we are somewhere in your neighborhood now. So I would just like to tell you that the least you could do would be to stick your head out the window, you limey bastard, and wave to the big yellow plane that keeps buzzing your house. Alrighty? That's me, right there. So just say hey. And I do hope that, I've got to say that I do hope that if I do get an airplane, I'd love it so that you could open the door. It'd be nice to open the door and be able to take a look out, you know, have the windows open. And most importantly, turn this dome light off. I'd love to be able to turn the internal light off, the cockpit light. Although I do like the reflections. It's nice having the virtual cockpit. If you see, if you look closely, you can see that side of the plane is reflected in that window, and this side of the plane is reflected in that window. And you see the strut reflections. You can see the seat and all reflected in the windscreen ahead of us. It's really, really nice. And it's a good deal quieter than the trike was, because you don't have an engine. You do actually have a little bit of a wall in front of you there, and a little distance. You don't have the engine right behind your head. So we're going to say right there goodbye to merry old England. And we will see y'all again next time. Hopefully we'll get a Lotro video up today. And maybe play a little XCOM too. Who knows? So we'll see you then. Bye-bye.